I thought she needed help when I first saw her. It was my first time backpacking on my own. I had been on a handful of trips before with friends, but I decided it was time to challenge myself. Besides, it's so hard to coordinate scheduling with everyone, and now half of my friends are married. I thought it would be easier to go alone. I decided to take Deadman SU, a trail local to my area. I was about 2 days into a 4-day trip when I saw her standing to the right in the tree line. Her clothes were tattered and she carried no pack. She was no hiker. The weirdest thing was her smile. Anywhere else it would have simply come off as polite, almost benign, but out here in the conditions she was in was immediately unsettling. "Are you okay?" I asked her. She didn't say a word. She just kept smiling, then stepped towards me. I stepped back, but she kept coming. She reached her arms out towards me. I tripped back over a rock as she gripped my shirt, and it tore as I fell backwards into a small flowing creek. She stopped just short of the water. I stood up, my pants and the bottom of my pack now soaking wet. "What the hell is your problem, lady?" I stepped towards her, but something about her smile stopped me. It wasn't too right. Then I noticed more figures in the trees behind her. More people, and they were smiling and just staring at me. I started to walk back and cross to the opposite side of the creek from them. None of them followed. I turned and started to run to put some distance between me and them. I ran so hard and so fast I was barely paying attention to what was in front of me when I almost ran into 2 more people walking on the trail. I barely stopped and they turned startled and my heart was racing. For a moment I thought it was more of them, but they were normal. They were a man and a woman who appeared close to me in age. I was actually relieved when I saw the upset looks on their faces. The man stepped between me and the woman and said, "Hey man, what is the matter with you?" I pointed back behind me trying to catch my breath. There were people. They were smiling, and they tried to attack me. "What the hell are you talking about?" "Kyle, maybe he needs help," the woman suggested. I hunched over and took a moment to catch my breath. There are strange people in these woods. I saw them back before the creek. There is something wrong with them. I don't know how they all got out here. "Are you on something, man?" Kyle asked. "No, just listen. I think you might, or we might all be in danger. I think you need to step back and leave us alone." The woman pointed her finger down the trail and asked, "Who is that?" I followed her hand and saw a man walk out onto the trail. I could see he had a slight grin on his face. He calmly set some kind of object down in the middle of the path, then disappeared back into the trees. We all slowly approached the object. Once we got closer, I could see it looked like a pair of eyeglasses. The woman gasped and hugged Kyle. "Jenny, what is wrong?" he asked. Jenny's voice quivered. "Those look like my old boyfriend's glasses." "Derek?" "Yes," she whispered. Then Kyle turned to me. "Is this some kind of prank, bro? How did your friend have Derek's glasses?" I sighed. "I swear I don't know who that was or who Derek is." "Why would I?" "Derek is her late boyfriend," Kyle said. Just as he said that, a branch snapped at the tree line. Several more people with smiles were standing and staring at us. "Let us get out of here," Jenny pleaded. We began walking away from them. The couple reluctantly let me tag along with them. All I knew is I didn't want to be alone in that forest anymore. Eventually, we all stopped to regroup and discuss a plan. Kyle spoke first. "Maybe we should head back the way we came. We don't know what is ahead of us. And run back into those people. Besides, there's more of them on the other side of the creek. We're better off pushing forward. I assume you guys parked at the trailhead like me. If we just stick together and finish this loop, we can all get out of here. Don't tell us what to do, man. We don't know you. Why should we let you come with us?" Jenny interjected. "Yes, right, and he should come with us. There is strength in numbers. Do either of you have any weapons?" I asked. "We may need them. Who knows what those people are capable of?" "I have some bear spray," Jenny said. "I have my pocket knife," Kyle added. Then I lifted my coat to reveal a handgun, and I have my 9mm. "Let us be ready for whatever happens." They eyed my gun but didn't say anything. Soon we were continuing on the trail. For some time we were silent. We didn't see any more of those people, and it almost felt like a normal hike again. The birds were singing and there was a pleasant breeze blowing through the trees. I started to want to pretend we weren't in any danger. Eventually Jenny turned to me and said, "Hey, I think I recognize you. Did you go to Grandview High? Weren't you on the baseball team?" I smiled. I hadn't thought about that in some time. "Why, yes I was," I pitched. "Did you go there?" "We both did, but we're class of 19. You're a little older, right?" "Yeah, I graduated in 17. I didn't really have any friends in the younger grades besides my teammates." Kyle interjected, "Baseball, that is kind of boring, isn't it?" "Some people think so, but I think it's fun." "Babe, shut up. You know I love baseball," Jenny laughed. "That doesn't make it any less boring." We all talked for a while, getting to know one another. We swapped stories about shared teachers, and Jenny asked me about the year we went to state. Kyle wasn't a very active participant in that part of the conversation. At some point we had to stop and make camp because the sun was starting to set and none of us wanted to take any risks getting lost in the woods at night. We found a nice flat spot that already had a built-up fire pit and plenty of firewood left by the previous people who passed through. I built a big bright fire. I didn't know if it would ward anything off, but it comforted me. Soon we were sitting in silence consuming our dinners. I finished off the contents of an MRE while they ate some pork and beans. We watched the woods for faces, but there were none. I hoped that we were out of the territory of those things, but deep down I knew this was just the beginning. After we finished eating, we set up our tents. I crawled inside and listened. Crickets chirped and owls hooted, but I still had a hard time falling asleep. My knife and my gun served me as welcome bedmates as I eventually drifted off to sleep. I woke to the sound of tapping on the fabric of my tent. I instantly sat up. My heart was racing and adrenaline surged through my veins. I quickly began unzipping my sleeping bag, and just as I got a light on something tore through the tent. I cut a hole in the fabric on the opposite side and quickly grabbed my gun as I rolled out. I held up the light and it crawled out of the hole I made. I stepped back and it stood and came right for me. It looked like a normal person, except the grin, which was the same as the rest. This one looked like a man. I held up my gun and fired 3 shots into its chest. It barely flinched. I backed right up to the other tent when I heard Kyle's voice. What the hell? He had finally peeked his head out of his tent. As soon as Kyle was present, that thing suddenly turned away from me and marched back into the forest. I shined my light around in the woods, and it seemed like that was the only one around. For now, at least. I looked down at the gun shaking in my hand. It almost got me, I said. It came right through my tent. When I shot it, it acted like it was nothing. I heard Jenny whisper, "How are we supposed to stop those things? We need to stick together." It turned tail the second Kyle came out of the tent. I spent the rest of the night in their tent. It was awkward and cramped, and Kyle kept his eyes on.